here's me thinking I'd do an emergency video for you guys late last night and before obviously the games happened, just before anyway, and thinking that all of the injuries and all of the outs were done for this week. And it just got worse and worse overnight. We had, well, during the night, even during the games, it was just wild. So we had Hopgood. We thought that there was a chance that he'd be out, but he's confirmed out there with that back nerve irritation. And why he backed up last week after Origin is absolutely beyond me, but he should be fine to play Origin. But I do think that means he's probably a sell now, given he'll be out round 15 now, has the high break even after the low score last week. 15, 16, 19, 20. That's 4 of the next, 6 games? It's pretty poor. So, and a pretty low chance, I think, that he'll back up after Origin if he's actually carrying that injury still into Origin, if he even plays, and gets picked, if the back's actually okay. So Hopgood's out, Jack Cole's out as well. So that quad issue that he had a few weeks ago, that he ended up was it hamstring? Oh, they said it was hamstring actually. So now it's quad for Jack Cole, along with Mitch Kenny actually. So both quad injuries for them. But Jack Cole's out. He's owned by 16, 17% of people. Hopgood's a pretty similar boat. Dom Young as well, out this week with a hamstring concern, which he may even be out the following week as well. So that's super frustrating. But I think at this stage, likely holding unless he wasn't clearly in your plans going forward. And just the amount of trades that we're using. This is actually we've been saying it all year, but just it keeps getting worse and worse. In weeks that you think you're going to be fine, like some people are, like if you're looking at the top 1,000 there, yes, not everyone has used their trades yet. Like I've still only used one for the week, but you're still sitting there, seeing 0 trades being used for some of these teams, right? But if you're looking at, what was I looking at? Something important. Average trades left is 6.4. What was I looking at? Oh, how many players? Where is it? There it is. All right, on the left. Players remaining. And total green dots. That's the one. Total green dots. It looks different on the phone. I was like, where is it? 17 green dots this week, 42%. I imagine that includes Kai Paul in there as well as a green dot. So that's going to drop down as well. 32% with 16, 19% with 15. But look at this. 5% have 14 green dots this week in the top 1,000, right? So these are the top coaches at the moment. 1.3%, so 13 teams in the top 1,000 have 13 players available this week. And that may include Kai Paul as well. 0.2% with 12, 0.1% with 11. So just absolutely incredible how that has obviously played out there. And if you somehow manage to get 17 on the park this week and you've avoided all the carnage, you've done incredibly well there. So they're all the extra outs for the week. Just try and get through this week, guys. It's definitely been the hardest year of my 15 years playing, fantasy there for sure. And let's just see what we can get through, how we can get through it. And if your smarts and your ability to potentially hold trades and cop a little bit of a loss this week to benefit in other weeks, or going hard with trades this week, all those type of decisions. Let's see how we can all mastermind this and get good at it. But let's get into last night's games, and I'm so happy with the selection this year and the play of Ruben Cotter. Peyton even mentioned at the start of the year, there'll be games where he plays lesser minutes and stuff, but basically he's been a big minute middle forward. He just continues to do it week in, week out. This year, he's been absolutely incredible, up to a 52.5 average. Obviously, he played 70 minutes 3 weeks in a row, 3 games in sort of 2 and a bit weeks there for Ruben Cotter, and he's absolutely dominated in each of them. Very, very impressed. Even last week, he was a bit tired at the end of it and made a few missed tackles, but in this one here, 50 tackles for 2 misses, 157 meters with 2 tackle breaks. Ruben Cotter, absolutely incredible. For those that did hold on to him and stuck through, I was going to say all the hardships, but the potential issues that we found in having to hold him through Origin, he's done really well. And there's obviously people that sold him last week or potentially the week before as well, and that's unfortunate. This is my win of the week, is Ruben Cotter, that's for sure. And of course, I tipped Raiders this week, as I was speaking about last night, yesterday, that I cannot catch the Sharkies at the moment. Unfortunately, in recent history, I haven't been able to catch the Raiders either. They beat the Dogs when I tipped the Dogs there, and they lost to the Cowboys here when I tipped them, thinking they were a much grittier side at home especially. They were terrible, and Cowboys were pretty decent, to be fair, and Cotter was the leader of that. Jordy Rapiner was 60 for him was a really, really good score with a try, a couple of line breaks, good tackle break numbers, 8 kick defusals as well. It was very, very impressive. Hillam Lukey there with 59. Super impressive effort in 59 minutes with that try. Very, very good footwork, but very easy try. There you got one-on-one with KO Weeks and put a good left foot step on him. He was left gasping at straws there to grab him. But yeah, it didn't work out too well for that one there with KO Weeks. And for those with the vice captaincy on KO, thankfully ended up with a couple of decent plays there at the end, but a very low score on that front for him after being really dominant in recent history. But Lukey 59, anyone who jumped on, you're getting good scores out of him. Yes, a bye next week, but that 59 is massive. Val Holmes with 57, so picked up that try saver in the earlier part of the game. 5 goals, a try in this one. Much better. No errors for him finally. 1 penalty, a couple of missed tackles. Not too bad. If you can get that out of him week to week, he's going to be averaging really well. But yeah, good work to holders of him. Elliot Whitehead continues to have an incredible fantasy season there, averaging just a tick under 51 and has been awesome. Ethan Strange, and one of those guys I keep telling people to hold and hold and hold. Like, he's got such a good run there, and center in the half duel, priced at 460, getting 54s out of him, getting 42s, getting high 30s. He's been great over the last month or so since people have sold him, and I wish I did still own him. Obviously, I did trade him to Atkinson that night where I needed that extra play when Hines went down. And yeah, Atkinson worked out well, but it's strange. You've been able to hold all year and not have to worry about him being out on a week-to-week basis. So 7 tackle breaks for him. He loves that sideways crab run, which has worked out great. A couple of offloads in there as well. And just the 3 missed tackles. No negatives outside of that. It was awesome for Strange owners. 54 for him. Drinkwater. Super happy with this performance from him, especially when a lot of content creators out there, especially in the Supercoach space, were saying that fullbacks have really been struggling in Raider Town, but just against the Raiders. After all, they're not the best team in the comp. Neither are the Cowboys, but Drinkwater has that potential to do great things, and he did there. And a big shout out to Kyle Felt for that first try assist from Drinky. The ability of some of these wingers to score these tries, and Kyle Felt is one of the best at it still at his slightly older age, in the 30s now. But yeah, incredible work from Felt. Great game from Drinkwater there, and also a nice little incredible try that the Robson was able to get after that Drinkwater line break to be able to carry a few of those guys over the line and wrestle his way into that try was great work from Robson. For anyone who did hold on, I doubt there's many at this point of the season, given he missed 13 and 14, but a really, really good effort from him there. Speaking of good efforts, you had Smithies with his 52. A really good effort there in the 52 minutes. Again, they were getting smashed in this one, and they went a different route in the end after him playing 52 straight. Did really well. Obviously, had an error and a penalty, which wasn't great, especially early on in that game when they needed things to be good. But in terms of fantasy, he did a great job there in that one, along with Josh Papali'i working hard for his 51. And then Joe Tarpany, the minutes have been up, and they usually are over this period of the season, and they obviously needed him to get him back on early and try and swing momentum back in the right direction. But 37 tackles from him. There was a couple of sets there. He'd go sort of 3 or 4 tackles in a row, which was awesome, and 172 meters. He was a potential option for my side if I wasn't to go with Connor Watson. He actually finished the game on 45 and got a bump up to 50 there, so that worked out really well. I think they took away at least one of his missed tackles and whatever else to increase some stats in the other direction, and he ended up with a 50, which is really, really nice for anyone who picked him up. Obviously a tick over his where he's priced at now, and he had a low break even after the 94 or whatever it was. So yeah, did great work there. Hudson Young did not have a great game there. 2 errors, 3 penalties, and a couple of missed tackles. He's pretty fired up, and it wasn't his best game at all. Did not help them win this one, and I wonder if he'll end up getting picked again in the Origin team, or if they go a different direction there. Dearden 43 along with Townsend. Both really helped their side get wins. Did miss a few tackles, but and 3 penalties in the end for Townsend, but helped the team get the win, along with Kyle Felt with that double for him. Jeremiah Nanai with that lovely try again. He continues to score him, but 2 errors, a penalty, 5 missed tackles. Definitely wasn't his best game at that, but we know next week how good he's going to be in Origin. But it doesn't matter. They've got to buy anyway, the Cows. So that's Jeremiah on that one. Matt Timoko with 35 wasn't his best outing, obviously, either there with that score. And yeah, not too much else to say really. He has lost 50k this year, and it's definitely a chance for him to turn that around. But the team obviously not as good as previous years. They were on the fringe of the 8, and they're kind of there again, but don't have as much firepower, especially with Fogarty being out. Weeks is kind of scoring those on his own if he gets in that opportunity there. And speaking of KO Weeks there, 33 in the 80 minutes. Danny Levi 34 for anyone who end up with him. Tom Starling had to go back off for a HIA. But Weeks there with 33. Picked up an offload, a couple of tackle breaks, and a line break assist. In that time there, kick meters were well down. They just weren't able to hold the ball enough, and Cowboys had plenty of territory in this one. So Strange didn't kick much, but usually for Weeks it's been a 500 plus kicking style of game, and it wasn't to be in this one. So he'll bounce back for sure, and we've still got another month or so until the Fogman is back. Seb Cruz for owners picked up a try assist in this one for 30 points. Worked out pretty good for owners of him. Could have been worse at 400k, that's for sure. Adam Mariota, 26. Tamalolo, 24 in just the 36 minutes. So the one main stint for him, and then came back a little bit later on for that little bit extra. But obviously didn't need him as much in this one in the second half. So a great opportunity to rest him after the big minute games he has played in recent history. And then Xavier Savage, Murray Talangi, low ones for them. Tommy McKaylee, 18 minutes. So I think it's time to definitely move him on. He obviously scored well enough with 2 offloads, one leading to that Robson try. So that was a really good offload there, which is what you're going to get out of these types of players. Vatlea with 20, just continuing to score like he did when he was with the Waz. And Trey Mooney, 22 minutes. Kilakefu Finafiriaki there with 12 in his 25 minutes. So 6 tackles and 66 run meters. So obviously had the ball plenty in his time out there, and wasn't able to score too well. So with that 12 now, yes, he had a big score last week, and he obviously isn't going to go down too much in price with the 12, but it's time to move on from Finn and get some better scores out there for sure. All right, we got the worst game for me out of the way this week with that of the Rabbitohs, unfortunately. There with Latrell, but I can't get a tip right this week. I think I'm none from 3, so not good. My cousin underneath me in the tipping comp, he got one back on me. I think he picked the Rabbitohs here, which was probably fair enough because the Broncos have been absolutely shocking. And Payne Haas absolutely dominated though. 41 tackles for 1 miss, 10 tackle breaks, 2 offloads, and a turnover tackle. What a freak of nature. And for those who were looking to captain him or did captain him this week, you crushed it and got that 81. Lovely work. Dean Mariner with the 70, the 2-try effort for him. He is an incredible athlete. Super fast, got a 6-step on him. That in and away. Whew, hot boy stuff there. That's for sure. A cracking finish there. And then Damien Cook, 69. This was a tough one to watch. Obviously getting that try really early for him. You just knew that it was going to be a good score. Playing the full 80. I think I made the wrong decision. Picking Jeremy Marshall-King instead of Cook. I thought at that time I was probably going to be picking up Campbell as well, and I'd have a lot of guys out for round 17. I might not even be picking up Campbell now, so it might be a little bit of a mistake, but 25 extra points compared to Jeremy Marshall-King, not the end of the world, but these bunnies, they're crushing me the last couple of weeks, that's for sure. With his 69 there, we've got Latrell Mitchell, 61. Thank goodness for me. He got sin bin, obviously, for that run in and had 4 errors. So dropped down a little bit of his scoring, neg 15 and playing 10 less minutes there. But 61 for him. Really, really good score. Picked up that try assist, got that try, just rummaged over, and just didn't think the Broncos would be this bad, and they were. And the Bunnies have been playing good. So 3 on the trot for them. Good stuff. And surely with the way that he played, he scored that try down the left-hand side as well and just, burrowed his way over, as a bunny does. But he has to be playing Origin. He has to get that centre spot for sure. He was incredible again. Along with Carrigan, 61 in 63 minutes, just working his tail off with a turnover tackle and offload, a tackle break to go along with his 59 in base with a lovely line break assist to Willison for that line break. It was good stuff there for any Willison owners. Billy Walters, 52 in 52 minutes. To make 44, miss 6 in 52 minutes is very impressive. A couple offloads there as well. Keon Kolamatangi, another guy that was an option for me this week as a potential mid that I might need. Obviously covers edge as well, but plays round 19. It was definitely a potential option, but down to 62 minutes, you take away that try, which is not going to happen super often for him. he's down at 43, which is a bit more of what I expect to get to see out of him now with Murray back. But obviously, if Murray goes straight into Origin, then you might see Keon play some bigger minutes again and is still potentially an option. He obviously has to try and score this 50 every week, which his run meters have been incredible. Obviously, the tackle numbers and the attacking stats, not so much, apart from that massive week. But this week he was able to get a little bit with 4 tackle breaks and also the try. Jai Arrow with 51. We'll have to find out a little bit more about his shoulder. He obviously re-aggravated it in the last couple of minutes, and that's how he ended up going off just at the end of the game there. But he had an awesome one. He had just the 2 missed tackles and no negatives outside of that for a 51. And I do know a few people that end up grabbing him, so congrats to those guys for getting good points. And hopefully he's okay for next week and the following. Tony Staggs there, 45. A 2-goal effort from him, 26 tackles, 5 misses, 5 tackle breaks. I'm not sure he's done enough to get into Origin. And we'll have to see what happens with that one. And obviously, with Bradman Best to come, he was obviously the pick when Latrell was out. And I do think Latrell's just, surely, if he doesn't make Origin, that'll chalk it down this season for one of the worst decisions that I've made, or that the unlucky decisions or whatever else, because you can't play any better than what he's done right now. Latrell, to not make the side would be criminal, I think, especially as a New South Wales fan as well. He is so damaging, and we need that type of player in Origin next week. Karapani, 44 from him. He continues to do good things, averaging 43, and has done great. And he'll still play random games, especially over the next bunch of weeks with guys like Cobbo going to be out there. In round 19, they obviously have a bye this week, but he may even play in round 17. So definitely an interesting pick up for anyone who did it a couple of weeks ago, or even this week for sure. Cobbo's 43, had the HIA there, but 230 run meters, 8 tackle breaks, but the 4 errors is the big thing that stands out here in a loss. They need to sort those errors out, that's for sure. Cam Murray doing great things in 50 minutes, so great to see him back on the park, and I expect that's enough for him to get a bench spot in Origin next week, that's for sure. And I think obviously he can cover a few positions as well. We've seen him be able to do that, and there's a good chance he takes like a Hudson Young spot or Nola Kawatu or something like that for sure, if that's the route they decide to go. Tyson Smoothie with 39, Gagai with 38, so good score from Jacob on that wing without getting a try. Xavier Wilson 37 in 27 minutes, so very, very low on that front when they're obviously trying to get the big boys through some big minutes, but he did everything he could in his time on the park to hold on to his price there. Alex Johnston with 36, who picked up a nice try there, showed that little short burst of pace, which was nice. Jensen with 36 in 40, nothing special, had a really good start and kind of didn't get too many minutes following that. Duncan with 35 in 36, basically a point a minute, it's pretty solid. Whiten was the big kind of L for the night, I suppose, if anyone bought him this week, or Cody Walker, 31 and 26 in a big win. It's pretty frustrating at that. And then Davi Moale as well, obviously with Murray coming back this week. I do think that was a little bit of a detriment on him. Obviously a little bit, not too many minutes down, but a little bit. And his PPM had dropped a little bit in this game. And obviously Kolomatangi as well, the next guy on the list that did lose some minutes as well for Murray. But obviously next week, with Murray likely to be gone from off to Origin, I do think that he'll get a couple more minutes again, Davi, and we'll get a better score. But at 27, not ideal at all. I did not grab him in the end. I thought that with Totola coming back, after thinking about it further, Totola coming back and Murray this week, I decided against it, even though he does cover 19 and probably will be helpful then. Totola will be back by that point. But Whiten there with the 31. This is kind of the worry with him. He had massive kick meters in the end. He had Latrell obviously get massive kick meters too at 278, and he basically, I think, kicked for 210 meters, and there was 30 and 40 or something between Whiten and Walker. But Whiten ended up doing plenty of kicking in that second half there, getting 327 is really big, 118 run meters, all good things, but the 5 missed tackles only making 14 just drops him down a bit there for sure. And 4 tackle breaks, like you look at that and go, well, it's a pretty solid game. He should probably get about 40, and 31 just it doesn't really cut the mustard, unfortunately, for him. And at 412k, though, it's not the end of the world. After a big score last week, he get a price rise, and hopefully next week he's even better. But then Walker with 4 missed tackles as well, did have 1 try assist, and he's obviously got so much talent, and we've seen that there, and did good things there for sure in this one. Brendan Piakura, goodness me, it could have been bad. The missed tackles were racking up. Thankfully, he did make 26 in the end, but missing 9, he's just a shocker for missed tackles. He's back to normal this week after a really good one last week. So I suppose for me, looking to average that out at 75 over 2 weeks at a 37.5 average for a guy that's priced at 393. It's pretty good overall. So I'll take it. Could have been worse, as I said. He was on, I think it was wrong, but he was on like -8 at one point. It should have been like a -4. They gave him a couple more extra missed tackles than he needed. But the discrepancy between this and Supercoach as well, like Daily Telegraph have him at 4 misses, and here on NRL Fantasy they've got him at 9 misses. So that just seems ridiculous, and I wish it was closer to 4, because that's, you know, an extra 10 points on there that I would absolutely love. But one offload, they also gave him a line break at one point and then took it away, so that was sad. But one offload, 117 meters at least, was better. And 2 tackle breaks, I suppose, yeah, not the end of the world, but they do need to be playing better for him to get good scores. And obviously out next week, and if I'm trading KPP, he's going to be around 19 edge at this point, so we'll see if that lasts all the way there or not. But Jack God's played 40 minutes in the end, with, you know, HIAs to Cobbo and obviously Piakura as well, is why he didn't play the full 80 minutes. So he had the HIA in that point. Richie Kennett with 5, pretty gross. Mamazelis only played 3 minutes, so not ideal there at all. And I can't believe that they're getting rid of Cook as to, you know, how good he can play, and obviously shows that a lot of the issues aren't really his as to why the club is doing so poorly. But yeah, Ezra Mann with 19, 8 missed tackles as well. Kennett had 9. Jock Madden had 7. Just not good enough from the Broncos players. That's, you know, both their halves missing 15 tackles between them, and then their left edge back row are missing 9. Yeah, there's only so much Payne Haas and obviously Carrigan could do in that middle. Like Walters missed 6 through the middle as well. So yeah, not super ideal. Obviously Kolomatangi on the other side missed 6, and yeah, Staggs missed 5 out in the centers. Just, yeah, not good enough for them. So that's that, guys. They're the 2 games done and dusted, and we've got Tigers up against Titans in the first one today. We will find out if KPP is officially out at 4 p.m. this afternoon. I'm still trying to work out what I will be doing with my players this week. Still making decisions. I think at this stage it is going to be Sharp, and it will also be Connor Watson. That's my general plan at the moment, but we will still work that out over the next couple of hours there for sure. So thanks for being here for this video, guys, and we will catch you in that next video tomorrow. Hopefully there's no more carnage.